Very happy to be here today, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you're coming from. I'm Sean Henkel. I'm the Pro AV Product Marketing Manager here at NETGEAR, and we have some exciting things to share. We announced a new product line a few weeks ago, the AV line of M4250 switches, targeting the 1 gigabit AV over IP. And Laurent Massia, the product line manager, is going to really dive in deep. And in fact, we want to point out that we're going to show you the interface live because we can do this now. And we're excited to bring this stuff to you. So Laurent, take it over.
Hey, John, thank you. And for having me, let's go over this great introduction called the AV line, the M4250 switches. So let's go over and let's start with the hardware because, of course, that's important. See, these new switches at NETGEAR for 1G video and audio over IP, they don't look like any other NETGEAR switch. The front is sleek, black, with only information, so LED information, that's all. So, of course, in the back, we have all the IOs. So while the front is presenting all LEDs, we can have on the left-hand side in the back, the console, the out-of-band, the management ports. As usual, we have all the IOs for here, for instance, RG45 with PWE and the fiber uplinks. And we even have a small on-off switch that's new next to the power. That is very useful, you know, to shut down the switch or switching off and on to restart the switch. And the special mention here is that you do have LED information on both sides, which can be very practical in an AV rack. We duplicated everything so that you have both LEDs, ports, activity, PWE, port by port information on both sides, including the system LEDs. Now, well, something that we have imagined by discussing so often with all our AV customers, we said, well, what if those switches could be reversible? So that if you need to change that, if you need to have all the ports in the front this time, you can reverse the switch by mounting those little ears, those brackets, on both sides, so that the fronts can now present ports. And just imagine if the AV rack is against the wall, then you have no choice. And see on the right hand side, by discussing again and again with our customers, we were said one day, see those AV racks, they are tiny sometimes. When the ports are in the front, when we shut down the door, there's not enough room for the cabling anymore. So we had to defy the law of physics. And no, you don't need new glasses. Actually, this is a second pair of rack mount ears that are in the box available, so that if you need, you can recess the switches back up to the 2 inches, 5 centimeters, to make room for the cabling. So that's really new, because not only it's an AV look, but also these switches can be installed IT style and even recessed. So the last thing I was willing to mention today is that we also were said that, you know, very often you're not in a typical AV rack, right? You need to go outside, you need to mount this switch one way or the other in a meeting room behind a screen, or think of a live events with those truss or pipe. So we have those threaded bolt holes everywhere in the front, on the bottom, so that we can adapt VISA plates, very standard VISA plates, and clamps, so that those switches will be also easily mountable in many other situations. Well, now it's a good time to bridge to the software, because I believe that it is really important for you, the AV community. Noise-sensitive environments like recording studios or meeting rooms require fanless switches, and we heard that. And you know, fanless is a challenge for thermal dissipation and all that. So for the first time, the new AV line switches come with the software that is capable of managing the fans for you. So just clicking on the interface, you can shut down the fans if the ambient temperature is okay, if the overall PWE load is okay. Then the entire range can be operated fanless, 0 dB. And then when you will want to benefit from the entire scope for the PWE budget, all the ports, all that, the quiet mode will be selectable. That's the default mode for the very quiet operation, and these switches will definitely be quieter than most, if not all, our IT switches. So very new because you can actually manage fans by yourself. Okay, so we have this new AV line, John, and in this wave of new switches, we are coming with 5 new models. And what you need to know is that 3 of them are PoE. They have 8 ports, so very cost-effective new platforms for smaller port counts. But see, those 8 ports, they can provide more or less, different PoE power budgets all the way up to the Ultra 90 PoE++, which is the latest 802.3bt standard that can provide up to 90 watts. Then the aggregation switches, one is copper with multi-gig Ethernet, the other one is fiber-based, 1 gig, 10 gig, in order to, connect those switches and build nice network topologies. So let's jump to a web browser, okay? And this is one of my switches. It's a multi-gig M4250 new switch, and this is the classic IT interface. We don't want to do that now. Instead, we are going to use the switch IP address that the switch picked up in my network here, and we are going to add this Canon 8080, right? And then the AV user interface is right there. Let's log in together. And the first thing is that, well, it's really different because this interface doesn't want to replace the other one, which is comprehensive, very complicated. Some would call it a nightmare. Here, it's very minimalist, right? Because we just want to provide you with the strict minimum information you need for an AV job. So the welcome page is just the switch overview with some details, some CPU memory, and these fans, because we love it at NETGEAR. It's a first for us, so we love to play with it. I can tell you a lot. But don't go with the cool mode, right? Because that's really much for the IT boys who want a cold metal case and a lot of noise. So it's not good for AV. But the quiet mode is whispering, and I don't want to have any background for my mic today, so I'm going to remain with the fan off mode. Okay, so let's go to the point. Actually, I need to move this. Okay, using the network profiles, and I want to take you by the hand and imagine until you give me some requirements. Well, let's say we have a job, John, coming today. We need to cut the switch in half, and we need to configure the switch to do Dante, for instance, audio on the 4 first ports. And let's say we want to do some video with those NVXs, the new ones, the 360s that were just out on the 4 next ports, okay? We are going to start with this. So see, the network profiles is the way to go for you because, well, all the time you will know exactly which type of devices you have to deploy, right? So this AV user interface is exposing a list of templates that are predefined and we hope for you comprehensive enough. So see 3 groups. The first group is the audio, pure audio profiles for Dante, for QSys, for AVB. Speaking of AVB, there's need a license that you can copy and paste quickly here to enable AVB operation across the switch. And of course, AES67. So 4 audio profiles. Then we have a video profile. It's good for any kind of video over IP, from the NVXs to the AMXs to the Aurora, ZV, Atlona, Dante Video, NDI, TriCasters, all that. All these manufacturers tested and approved these switches with us in order to really ensure that this combo video profile is adequate for all of them. And then, last but not the least, we have a third group after audio. After video, we have the hybrid profiles when you need to have a video installation with video encode decode units like the QSys boxes that can de-embed audio out of the videos and send the audio packets using audio over IP protocol like QSys. or like AES67, or like Dante. Okay, so a hybrid profile doing both at the same time, video plus audio over IP. Well, that's what we got for now, and we expect it to grow because, of course, if new applications show up, and it will, we will work with you all to add some more predefined templates. So, John,
Also,
if you agree.
Sorry to butt in there, but you can create your own templates too, right, Laurent?
Oh yeah, we could create a AV template from scratch. That's right, that's right. This is actually a good point. Thank you, John. So if we have this job, right, we want to do some Dante on the first 4 ports. How are we going to do that? Well, in this factory default switch, let's select the audio Dante profile, which is a template. Let's select the 4 first ports, give it a name. So, well, let's say this is my Dante primary because there's already something like that at this customer. Let's pick up a color, maybe green for Dante. And let's provide the switch with the VLAN information. In my case here, my customer already got a Dante VLAN, a Dante network, and that's the VLAN 20. So instructing the switch to do VLAN 20. That's about it, guys, because now I can save it. And well, the 4 first ports now are green and specified with the right type audio Dante for my application. I can check that my VLAN is the 20 and well, they are green, so easy to catch, okay? So now let's connect those 360s, those new NVXs. You want to do that on the 4 next ports, right? So let's find in the list the video profile, which is this one. Let's configure it. Don't forget to tell which ports you want to use. And then let's give it a name. Well, that's my NVX 360. That's a nice name, right? Like 360 degrees. Mm-hmm. For the blue, let's say light blue for this NVXs. And let's say that this time the customer is picky. And that's right? You don't want to mix and match the video with the audio in the same VLAN. You know, let's segregate these video packets into a dedicated VLAN. So let's say the VLAN 10, okay? And click Save. Now, John, you should see 4 blue ports, actually almost purple ports, next to the green ports with your NVXs, your video profile, and your VLAN ID. Okay, lifetime warranty, John. That's what you get with the 4250. As for the 43 and the 4500s, it's a true lifetime, right? 20 years from now, John and I will be retired. That's pretty sure. But so. if you have that switch still in operation, this switch will be covered by the lifetime warranty. I mean it. And this is limited because it's limited to the first buyer. So you cannot resell it on eBay 20 years later. It will not work. But this is our first commitment to the Pro AV community. But even more than that, these switches are backed up by the NETGEAR engineering services. So the Pro AV design at netgear.com is a team of professional, not only tech support, but also pre-sales engineers, even PLMs like me. And all together, over the years, we were involved in many AV installations, sometimes really difficult. And we said, well, that's enough. You, in the AV community, you don't buy hardware, you don't buy software. You are procuring service and support. That's what you need in priority. So the 4250s will be brought to the market by this team that is in charge of helping you for the design, the configuration, and the troubleshooting, if any, right? So that we can back you up. And each time you will reach out to the Pro AV design at netgear.com, instead of talking to multiple persons in the NETGEAR organization, you will have one person to deal with across all the phases in your project. So Pro AV design netgear.com is extremely important, and it's successful because it really shows the commitment. We at NETGEAR want to help you. We are here to support you.
All right, thank you, Laurent. That wraps up our show today. For more information, You can go to netgear.com/ProAV or netgear.com/M4250. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.
Now on to the main topic of this presentation, which is an update on the Ultra High Speed Cable Certification Program. The Ultra High Speed Cable is, the cable for use with HDMI 2.1, and the certification program is important for all adopters and all the public really to understand. So we'll be covering that in detail here. UHS cable is the first cable defined by the HDMI forum, and in the HDMI 2.1 spec, it's known as the Category 3 cable. It ensures support for all of the 4K and 8K modes that are defined in HDMI 2.1, and in addition, it ensures a low EMI or electromagnetic interference as a priority to be sure that we don't interfere as much with radios. The UHS cable supports all the features of HDMI 2.1, both uncompressed and compressed transmission and the FRL fixed rate link signaling technology, and all of the gaming features and the eARC feature, the enhanced audio return channel, and goes up to 48 gigabits per second. It's also, low EMI again is a big priority with this cable, UHS cable, and it exceeds all the requirements set in international EMI standards. And every cable design is tested and certified to ensure low EMI so that there's low interference with Bluetooth devices, Wi-Fi, and mobile phones. UHS cable is backwards compatible with all previous HDMI devices and enables all the features of past HDMI cables, and so it's a true superset. The UHS cable certification program currently covers Type A connectors. The specification also covers Type C and D connectors, so look for certification for those connector types in the future. It also covers wire, passive, active, and converter cables are all supported for the UHS cable. And again, it goes up to 48 gigabits per second of uncompressed and compressed transport. So much higher than the past HDMI premium cable that went up to 18 gigabits per second. So, the certification program is the important thing that we're talking about here. This program was launched just recently on September 1st, 2020. And this program assures that all cables that are, labeled ultra high speed HDMI support, again, all the features, including 8K. And every single cable design has to have the certification process, and also every cable produced then has to have a label attached. So the certification label enables authentication and verification all the way through the distribution ecosystem and to the customers to be sure that these are truly tested and authorized UHS cables, and that they are compliant with the HDMI 2.1 specification and ecosystem. So the certification program has a bunch of requirements. First is that every cable design is tested and certified in compliance with the Category 3 spec for HDMI 2.1. This certification has to happen only at HDMI forum authorized test centers, or forum ATCs. Every individual length of cable must be tested and certified to ensure that we have good quality across all the potential different cable lengths. The cables themselves must be registered then with HDMI LA after they are certified and then entered into the verification and authorization program. The cables also have to display the UHS certification label on each package. And then finally, there's ongoing verification throughout the lifetime of the product. So there is a program to sample cables out of the marketplace and bring them back in for testing to ensure that the quality of manufacturing is maintained even after the initial certification of the cable designs. Diving into a little bit more detail, The compliance program itself for the Cat3 cables or UHS cables was defined by a large group of forum members. So it was cable manufacturers, semiconductor makers, product makers, test equipment makers, and forum authorized test centers all got together to develop a robust program for testing the UHS cables. So this testing certification program includes testing the full 48 gigabits per second bandwidth, testing for low EMI emissions across the full spectrum, frequency spectrum of HDMI, and ensuring the support for the new fixed rate link signaling technology in HDMI 2.1. HDMI forum authorized test centers, or forum ATCs, are test centers that have gone through a rigorous testing and compliance program with the HDMI forum. The forum has a compliance program manager who reviews the applications of ATCs to ensure they are applying high qualities and are rigorously following and applying the HDMI 2.1 CTS requirements. The forum ATCs that have been approved for cable certification are the ones that any adopter can approach to get their cable designs tested and authorized to be part of the UHS cable program. Once you go into the forum ATC for cable testing, every cable length that you want to get put into the market for UHS has to be tested individually. This ensures that we get good electrical performance and signal characteristics at all lengths, and also ensures that we have good EMI at all the different lengths of the cables. And the length of the authorization will go into every certification, so that when users are going through the verification program that we'll be talking about in a minute, the report they'll get will actually list the length, and then they'll be able to check, the consumer will be able to check that the length they're buying has actually been authorized as a certified UHS cable. So now I'll pass over to Brad Bramey of HDMI LA, who they're the ones that have set up the verification and authentication program for the UHS cable program, and he'll be talking a little bit more about that. Thank you.
Thank you, David. And let me say we're very happy to be managing this program for the HDMI Forum. And right now we're going to talk about the verification and authentication part of the program. After an HDMI Forum ATC tests the cable, the results are going to be uploaded to HDMI LA, and that's where the HDMI Forum Compliance Program Manager, or Forum CPM, is going to verify the test results. If he or she approves, then a certificate of confirmation is going to be provided to the Forum ATCs, and of course at that point the Forum ATCs can distribute that certificate to the adopter. That's an example of the certificate of confirmation there on the right, and that's brand new, and that is going to start being issued September right now. Once that certificate is sent off to the Forum ATC and the adopter is notified that their cable has been approved and certified, that cable is automatically entered into our certification portal for ordering. And the adopter can then go into our adopter extranet and go to the ultra high-speed cable section and order their labels. And as you know, the labels have to be affixed to every single package. And sometimes packages aren't all consumer-facing packages, such as the one there on the left, but they can be a poly bag, or they can be what's called a band wrap, which are used for a lot of commercial purposes. There's another option that's not shown, and that's what some people are going to do is just put a paper tag around the cable, and they can affix the label directly to the paper tag. So there's some options there, and if you have any questions about that, please go ahead and contact us or contact me directly. We'll be happy to help you out. Now, here's the label itself. On the image on the right, that's just to give you an idea of the size. It's 22 millimeters wide. It's about the same width as a typical cable connector. And then in the middle there, you can see the official ultra high-speed HDMI cable name logo. Now, normally cable name logos are printed on packages, but in this case, the logo is actually on the label itself, and that is the only authorized way to get that logo on a package. And of course, down at the bottom, there's the holographic image and the QR code. And that hologram and that QR code are unique to each individual cable package, and that enables compliance tracking and, of course, anti-counterfeit confirmation. Now, another aspect of the product lifetime verification, again, is the tracking. So the labels enable each model of each cable to be regularly verified and authenticated over its model lifetime. As you know, cables can have a very long lifetime with the same model number lasting many, many months or several years. So that label information is mapped back to the HDMI adapter cable manufacturer, also the certificate of confirmation ID number, and even the supporting test results, and also the compliance audit test results. And of course, that's confidential to HDMI LA. And then, of course, the cable length and the brand manufacturer, that is accessible by consumers or end users or anybody else that wants to scan the label. And again, talking about the scan results, you can only scan and get a verifiable result when using the HDMI certification app. And that app is available on the Apple and the Google app stores, as well as the Android app stores in China. And you cannot actually use a standard QR code reader to get a verifiable result, because that's an easy way to send people to a counterfeit web page. So it has to be our app to get the verifiable results. And again, it's used throughout the supply chain, so those labels can be shipped direct to the factory that's manufacturing the cables. Sometimes the factory is actually the one doing the packaging too, or it could be sent to a third-party packaging company. And that way the labels are scanned, and so the folks know what is the correct label to put on the right product model. And then our compliance team actually works with customs and borders around the world, and at port of export or port of import, they are trained in how to scan the labels to verify that these are authentic product. Once it reaches destination, there are various distribution centers. There could be 1, 2, 3 before they actually reach the end user, and distribution centers scan the labels to make sure that it's the right model number, the right brand. And of course, a reseller can be a consumer reseller, or it can be a commercial reseller, and of course, eventually it could get to a consumer. And these are different places, different processes in place, different stages along the supply chain where the verification can take place. And then we have the compliance audits. So production cables can change in manufacturer or materials over time, and that can affect the performance characteristics. So regular compliance auditing helps ensure the cables stay in compliance to the specification over the lifetime of the product. So HDMI LA initiates audits of what we call in-market product, and then they are tested again. Test results are again confirmed by the Form CPM. Now, adopters whose cables have failed are notified, and they're given an opportunity to fix the problem and certify a new cable, and all failed cables are removed from the label ordering system. And then finally, there's just 2 images I wanted to leave you with. This is how to identify an ultra high-speed HDMI cable. Now, this image and the next one are available for download from the hdmi.org website. And you are welcome and encouraged to use the image internally to educate people about the program. You can post it on your websites, use it in your sales and marketing materials. You can send it to your customers. It's very important people know how to identify the cables. And this next image, of course, is how to verify it, which we've already discussed a little bit. So again, both of these images are available for you to use. And that's all we have today. Thank you very much for your time. And if you have any questions about the program, please feel free to contact us. My name again is Brad Bramey. You can contact us also through admin@hdmi.org.
Hi, my name is Josh Litwack with SnapAV and Control4. Thanks for joining us here at AV Network Nation. I'm here to tell you a bit more about who SnapAV is and how we can be one of your best partners in the business. One of the most common questions we get about SnapAV is, who is SnapAV? Are you a manufacturer, a distributor, a software company? The answer to all those is yes. You may be familiar with many of our product brands. We sell 14 proprietary brands, which are designed, engineered, and sold only through SnapAV and our local market distribution network. These products include Wattbox Intelligent Power, Arachnus Network Hardware, Oversee Cloud Management Software, and Control4 Automation and Control. We also distribute a wide range of products from some of the best manufacturers in the industry, like Atlona, Yamaha, Clearline, and others. So why should you partner with SnapAV? First and most importantly, we are a channel-focused partner. We only work with AV and IT system integration firms and service providers. We deal only with professionals, and we treat them like professionals. We have a product mix of over 5,000 products across 25 categories. So we have what you need to complete your projects, regardless of the application or the client. And what good are great products if you can't get them? We have a guaranteed in-stock policy that ensures you can get the products you need to take care of your clients when you need them. We also have a standard advanced replacement warranty policy. This is the technology industry. Sometimes things don't work out the way they're supposed to. We'll get you a replacement product shipped out with no problems, so you can get on with your project. But you know, sometimes a product just isn't going to work for your application, or it isn't what you expected. Not a problem. We have a 60-day satisfaction guarantee on everything we sell. If you don't like it for any reason, let us know. We'll take it back and get you something that you will. Lastly, we take care of our partners with award-winning customer and technical support. What does that support look like? I'm glad you asked. We have a large dedicated team whose only job it is to make sure that you're happy. We answer the phone. We won't keep you waiting on hold for hours on end, and our technical support agents are some of the most knowledgeable and highly trained professionals in the industry. We're going to treat you and your team like the professionals you are. Earlier, I mentioned our extensive product catalog. As you can see here, we cover pretty much every product category that you might need. Everything from rack screws and display mounts to IP surveillance, network hardware, and commercial AV components. If you need it, we've probably got it. What are those products? We like to think of our product catalog in three parts. The first is our connected product lines. Hardware that connects to a network, has advanced functionality, and is managed by our Oversee Cloud Management platform. Arachnus is network hardware specifically optimized for AV systems. Wattbox is IP connected power with intelligent management and scheduling features. Binary offers full resolution IP-based audio and video distribution. Luma Surveillance has a comprehensive assortment of IP surveillance cameras and NVRs. Episode Audio features both commercial and residential audio solutions with IP control and cloud management. All of these connected products are managed by Oversee, our cloud management platform. It offers fully secure, remote connect and management to all connected SnapAV products, as well as most third-party network connected products via our Oversee Pro technology. Oversee gives you a powerful system management tool to make sure your client systems are up and running, problem-free, and allows you to respond to service issues efficiently and rapidly wherever you are. And best of all, it's free to all SnapAV partners. For AV, we've got all your needs covered as well. Our Episode Audio product line has a full range of amplifiers, as well as a complete line of speakers. Everything from 70-volt pendants to distributed 8-ohm audio and even outdoor landscape speaker solutions. If you need microphones, check out our line of Sense mics. the absolute best bang for your buck you can find in a commercial microphone line. And for all your outdoor display needs, Sunbrite TV is the product that invented the outdoor TV and is still the industry leader in product quality, longevity, and design. Every project needs the nuts and bolts, which is why we have strong racks and mounts, binary cables, and wire path infrastructure. If you need to rack it, mount it, connect it, or patch it, we've got you covered with professional quality products at very competitive prices, all with free shipping. So how do you get SnapAV products? You can shop online at snapav.com. Our partner portal is the absolute best procurement and shopping experience you'll ever have in the industry. Our website has a comprehensive listing of every single SKU we carry, with real-time stock status and partner-specific pricing. We also have a ton of in-depth technical documentation, specifications, and system design information available to any approved SnapAV partner. If you prefer to pick up locally or shop from distribution, you can also buy from any of our 27 local distribution locations. All of our distribution partners are part of the SnapAV family. So if you need something right away, you can get it that day. I hope this has given you a better understanding of who SnapAV is, what we have to offer, and how we can be one of the best partners in the industry. We'd love to talk to you more. If you want to check out our booth at AV Network Nation, we'd be pleased to tell you about how we can be your best partner. Thanks for the time.